Hey, it's just barely warm enough to wear shorts. No, I'm kidding. It's pretty cold. Oh no. The cat. I need to switch my battery all of a sudden. I'm gonna take care of this. I gotta take care of this. Don't tell me you're gonna start getting noisy. So I've been kind of picking at the garage here. I got my bench cleaned off. I actually was able to use it for a brake job. I just, set the rotors, some brake rotors up there. I was able to clean them and wipe them off properly with proper towels. It was amazing. Still kind of a mess. We got pop cans we gotta get out. We got some stuff to ship out and miscellaneous crap to pick up. I gotta put my tools away. But basically, I've took these boxes from work, past couple of jobs. One of which supplied those boxes there. I'm still working out, but they're pretty tall boxes, so I cut them down, so that's why I look a little crooked. But I got a box for electrical, I got a box for air filters and oil filters and miscellaneous lawnmower engine and truck parts. I got the cruise control module on the top there, it needs to go back in, and I got my Cummins swap miscellaneous parts. The tranny that was in here is out in the shed, and but yeah, I got another box for all my air hoses. So surprisingly, I have a lot of air hose, mainly purchased when I had the Explorers, trying to revive the old air suspension. But now I'm gonna be using it for this guy. Sorry, I'm rattling papers around. I finally have insurance. Don't tell anyone. Now eventually I'm going to replace the this vinyl mat in here. I'm going to replace it with a carpet of kind of like this color, and I'm going to use my mats I kept from the Explorer. I had another one. It was for the passenger side, but when Adam sold his Chevy van, he forgot to give it back to me, so I need to find another limited Explorer mat. When I put the new carpet in, I'll just utilize this and put one of those Christmas tree things through there so it holds in there, and then this will be able to dig into the carpet. But it's perfect. I like it. I probably won't keep it in here with the vinyl, but for now I'm just gonna roll it up. That's what made that loud noise. There's nothing for any object that's rest here. Nothing grabs, so it just freaking makes the loudest noise when it slides off and you barely move a corner. Now I gotta organize that. I gotta put my insurance in here. This is super cheap for this thing. It's like $50. And I'm not even 22 yet, and I'm paying $50 for this. I was paying, I was with State Farm on this thing for a while before Adam took it. And, I don't want to pay $100 for a truck that's 32 years old. Or 30, something like that. Anyways, I'm going to take care of this. I get these needles out. My job at work, we use these needles to suck out air. We have giant cylinders that we put this basically like double-sided tape on, and you tend to get air bubbles. So we use these, and we tend to leave them in our pocket, our work shirts, and we'll go home and freaking have a million of these. Oh, fresh battery! Yay, camera's happy. I got a couple batteries. I try to keep charged. I have an oil leak here somewhere, I think. It's leaking right there, right on my freaking intake. Little bastard. That's okay. Keep it topped up with oil. It's actually don't even have to top it off all that much. Probably should wipe it off and double check it, but it seems to be fine. Oh yes, a good old truck. Still runs pretty good. I still think it would run so awesome if it had EFI. The carburetor on that thing is just, it doesn't like it at all. But anyways, I'm going to drain the fuel in the carburetor bowl and switch out the jets. I found my 64s by cleaning the top part of my little thing there. So, and eventually I'll get to that and clean that out. But I want to pop those jets in, make sure it's all tuned right. Maybe temporarily hook up my tach to make sure the RPMs are good. And then I'm gonna go hang out with some friends. I'll probably take this out and drive it. We'll go out to Wilsonville with it. I gotta put some fuel in and stuff, but that's okay. It should have coolant. Yeah, let's get some. My these air horns only work intermittently. They're kind of going bad, so I'm gonna have to replace those and just get this pump. I'll actually take all this air horn stuff out, and I've got an idea with using Explorer horns. It's gonna have 4 horns on it. Alrighty then. So got the jets back in. I haven't fired it up yet, so it'll be a low fuel and cold start. So I'm just kind of dinking around with these wires. If you have one of these trucks, there's 2 that are for power. This one here I have going to my radio, so really that just needs to be all taped up and moved back somewhere. And then this one here, this pink wire, is for this bad boy here, my air compressor that is nice to secure. This will eventually get moved somewhere else and get secured. I might even find a way to put it down there and screw it in and have it bolted into the wheel well. That way it's secure, it won't move, it's somewhat in a dry location. But yeah, you get this thick power one. I'm using this for the compressor, that's for the radio, and a little spade connection goes right in there. I'm using these little blue ones. I don't know what size they are. It's probably like 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch, I don't know. Plugs right in there. It's not going anywhere, so probably tape that up and push it out of the way. And I have not used that compressor in months, and it's just like I used it yesterday. I've got about 10 psi in my bags. I'll do maybe 15. And those of you that are new to my channel, my truck has airbags in it. We installed those quite a while ago. Those are very helpful to have. It allows you, once you put those in there, it allows you to remove your overload leaves, which I don't have anymore. I think you can actually see where it used to rub. There's those big, thick, somewhat straight pieces of spring steel that I don't care for, but it kind of softened up the ride a little bit. It's a little more compliant. Still a little bouncy when you're unloaded, but you know, that's the nature of the beast. I need to get this out of my truck. I've got, what have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 gallons of used motor oil. I wanted to say earlier in the video, got insurance on this, so I'm gonna get some gas, make sure it runs good. I replaced the hose that was going here. I had this Ace Hardware quality crap, so I just replaced it with Honda vacuum tubes. I scored those a few months ago, and those are awesome. And then I got that little one-way valve on there. And that's how it was set up on the one truck that I saw at the pick and pull. So runs fine with it like that. Actually runs a little better. Got this taped out. This is for that thing there. I will hide that somewhere, make it look like it's hooked up. When I have my tach running, they shouldn't have to pop my hood, because the last time they popped my hood, it was just so they could hook their connector up to the ignition wire so they can get a tach reading. So I'm hoping they don't have to do that if they can just see my tachometer. But anyways, it's got the original jets that were in the truck when I got it, and those are the jets that passed DEQ originally. So I guess we'll put it back together, fire up, and go for a drive. Let's see, what time is it? I was gonna leave around. Yeah, I gotta get going. I do need to get this wire out of here. I think it's just zip right there. Yep, get that out of there. I don't have anything hooked up to this battery other than just the alternator exciter wire and the charge and everything. So everything is done through there. Yeah, it just keeps this nice and clean and uncluttered. Just that'll eventually I'll get it cleaned up and make it look halfway decent. Okay, so temporarily I had my belt disconnected. That's actually locked up now. That's great. Interesting. Really? It's locked up? Oh, there we go. Well, that's the first thing to go. Why, it's locked up. No, it's not. It's probably got a whole shit ton of moisture in it. I'm going to hook this up via the belt now that it works. I have to do something about this so that it's not like, oh, well, what's that? I need to temporarily hook up my tach. I'm actually going to hook it up to Keon, so it won't be temporary. I've got about an hour before they open and before I want to go, so we're going to DEQ this sumbitch. I'm going to run it and get it nice and warm. Finalize the setting on that carburetor. I'm going to just leave this and take. I found out if I run this full bore, it makes the exhaust do that backfire thing. So what it's just pumping a lot of lean, a lot of air in there, and when it doesn't need to be. But I'm going to put that in there so that it leans it out some more. And it seemed to get pretty good gas mileage running that air pump. I wish it would push up more air and I could put it down in the carburetor so it don't freaking, it's like boost, you know? No, I'm kidding. Okay, ran it through DEQ a couple times and it didn't want to pass. And the last time it passed, it had all this hooked up to it. They're not really doing a visual inspection. They've seen my tach, so they're able to read how fast the engine's going, so I don't have to pop the hood and hook up their thing to the wires. But I put all this back together so that the air pump will try to function halfway normal, so that it can help the catalytic converters be a little more effective. Right now my CO, or carbon monoxide, is about 3 something. It was 5 when I came in earlier, but I leaned it out a little bit. So I'm hooking this stuff up kind of based on some of the videos I have, and I'm just trying to get it kind of connected together how I think it should go. There's certain things say vac, they need vacuum supply, so I've got it kind of hooked up to a main vacuum supply. So most of the stuff's been done up with some makeshift hoses, Honda vacuum hoses mainly. There's a little green check valve that's supposed to go in here. I'm missing that. I need to get one of those. I'm going to try and fire this up and tune it and see how it runs and smell the exhaust. I don't have anything touching down here. It's hooked up just how it was before. Hose, I do need to get a couple clamps on there. I don't know if this is hooked up to the right spot. A lot of my videos weren't done with this camera, so it's hard to see certain things. But I'm going to try and start it up and see what she does. Okay, it's running a little better. Running way better, even from cold. The only thing that's not hooked up is this ported vacuum switch. I don't know where it really goes. A lot of this stuff I was kind of guessing. But it is running a little better. It's not hesitating. The exhaust smells way better. It's like not freaking potent. think I'm just gonna leave that on there until I get the Cummins. Maybe I'll unplug one of those to see if it's getting vacuum. Okay, so running great. I didn't have to tune the carburetor. Freaking all those vacuum lines, that's a pain in the ass. But some of the lines have a little bit of vacuum, but not a whole lot, so it doesn't have a real proper vacuum source. But I know the air pump is functioning to a degree where it's not just throwing loads of air in and causing it to lean out and make the exhaust pop and crackle and make scary noises. So I can rev it up to 2,500 RPM, let off, and there's a little snap, crackle, pump, but not like kaboom, kaboom, kaboom. That's what I was getting earlier. So now, tomorrow, I'm going to take it in again in the morning and then try again. I'm hoping it passes this time because I would like to get my tags because we do need to use it this week. I don't want to have to stand in line for 8 hours to get a friggin' trip permit. Okay, so I have ordered something that's been long overdue. I really didn't want to spend the money, but you know, I've been having some issues with my truck mainly because of the stupid carburetor that's on it. It's just old and it's just been tweaked with so many times. I'm tired of trying to dial it in. So I went ahead and ordered a brand new carburetor from Summit Racing, and it's one that I think is 1972 Ford F150 or F250. On YouTube, he has got one of those on his truck, and it runs pretty freaking sweet with that carburetor. So I believe I got the same one. It's a 600 CFM. Let's see if I can. I don't really want to go back. I just bought it. Let me just put in the part number here. But I got this one here. This is the model number 279. I paid a little extra for second day air, so I should get it. Well, it's technically Friday. I should see it tomorrow on Saturday. So I just ordered it about 5 minutes ago at midnight. Hoping I get this Saturday. It'd be pretty freaking awesome. It's got, you know, the Ford kick down. It's basically kind of like a Holly, except it's a little done up just a little bit differently. It's a slightly different design. Actually, it is a Holly. It's like an older. It's the older Hollies, but Summit Racing did them up and made them pretty sweet. And it looks like it's got some more vacuum ports. I hope it has two big ports on it, because I need one for the brake booster. I need one for my HVAC and PCV valve, and then I need to have ported vacuum. I need to have one for the transmission, and that's really all I need. And I know I said I was going to keep the air pump on there, but I'm going to take the air pump and shit back off now that I have my tags. I got my freaking truck to pass, so I'm like, whew, just mismatch that shit on there, get it to where it's not popping and gagging, so in case they rev it, it doesn't scare the shit out of them and make me fail. And it passed, and it ran really clean. It was super, super clean. But now it's with the air pump being on there and the way I've hooked it up, it doesn't really turn off when it's cold, so it runs way too lean when it's cold, and it just is. It's the air pump needs to go, and so I got another 2 years before I need to renew the tag. So at some point we'll have the diesel in there, so I won't have to worry about that. So this guy's on the way, and tomorrow I'm gonna go spend another $100 on my credit card and get a freaking battery, because I kept the Motocraft battery from the Flex, and I wanted to see how many more miles I can get out of that. Well, yeah, it's gone to shit. Pardon the language, but it's bad. So I mean, it's like it's expanding, it's leaking, it's hissing and squirting stuff. So I'm decommissioning it, and I'm going to get rid of it tomorrow, or actually today in the morning, and then yeah. Well, at least we'll have something to do with the truck. And then the old carburetor will go as parts. Yeah. Kind of decided to stick with the 600 CFM. That seems to be just right for the engine. The only problem I have is just the way my carburetor's been tuned. It's just the engine is not happy with whatever setting. So I'm hoping that this one here will be just fine. And I made kind of a little how to retune the Holley carburetor. I watched the Summit Racing video on YouTube and kind of got an idea of how they tune the carburetor, so I have that so I can use for this new one in case I screw it up. But I'm hoping it just purrs like a kitten with this. It's a brand new, fresh. There's no dirt in it, so I'll need to get a new fuel filter and whatnot, and I'm hoping that goes in there. I'm hoping that's the case. And I'll just reuse my rod that I'm using with the stock air cleaner. So it's a dual feed. I like this a little better. Man, that's gonna run nice. And I'm hoping it will restore its power, because I know the engine, it's a healthy engine, but the carburetor is like fucking it up. It's like not letting it, put out its full potential. I know it can burn rubber. That engine is, it's not worn out. It's barely just getting started. But this fucking carburetor is being a piece of shit, so I'm tired of dealing with it. So I'm gonna go to this. And yeah. Anyways, I'm done talking. I'm gonna edit up this video and I'm gonna hit the hay.